What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about some of the most unique things about Japan. Now, these are things that Japan does in its own way. So, as an American, I know that Japanese culture is very different to America. So today, I'm very excited to learn about some interesting aspects of what life in Japan is like. So let's take a look.
Each year, the Japanese village of Inkadate transforms rice paddy fields into large-scale works of art.
What?
Known as Tanbo art, this tradition started in 1993 with the purpose of reviving the region's dwindling economy.
What is this? How do you even do this? This is amazing. This is so cool. I didn't know you could even do this. They make art on the farm, the fields. That is awesome, and it's so well done.
It became and remains a huge success, with hundreds of thousands of spectators visiting the place to personally witness these incredible masterpieces.
Wow.
They have a different theme each year, like Japanese folklore, anime, and iconic figures from movies.
Why don't we do cool stuff like this? Why can't we have cool stuff like this in America? This is awesome. Like, what?
All made in exquisite detail using 10 colorful strains of rice plant varieties.
Wait a minute. This is made by using different colors of plants? I thought they just painted it somehow. I don't know. I thought they used paint to do this. This is different varieties and different colors of plants to create these pictures? That is amazing!
The Japanese love everything that's cute, or kawaii as they call it, like cats and anime characters with their large, adorable eyes. As for their pooches, the latest craze in Japan is to groom their dogs into perfectly trimmed cubes. It isn't just in Japan, but its neighboring countries as well.
What?
The Japanese must have a thing for cubes, since they also do it to their favorite summer fruit, watermelons.
You trim dogs into a cube? They don't have a picture of that? I want to see that.
In Japan, they take cultivating melons pretty seriously. You won't only see pricey cube-shaped watermelons, but also ones in a heart and pyramid shape. There are even human-faced watermelons complete with eyes, a nose, and a mouth. As for...
How do you do this? How do you make a watermelon into a different shape? How does Japan even do some of this stuff? I don't get it.
For one of Japan's most iconic characters, Hello Kitty even has her face on a melon. To top it off, these Hello Kitty branded melons are priced at $69.
Oh my god, these are expensive. Japan is just more fun. Like, you just have fun with stuff. Like the different shapes of the fruits and drawing pictures on the crops. It's just fun. Like, I love that.
Do not leave tips. It's very convenient, but if you don't know about this rule, you can end up in an embarrassing situation.
Oh, you do not tip in Japan? Not at all? No tips. Wow. Americans would love this. I would love that. Yeah, in America, you have to leave a tip. Like, if you do not tip, that is so extremely rude. A lot of Americans would be much too embarrassed to not tip.
On one of my first days in Japan, I had an amazing meal in a restaurant. The food, service, atmosphere, everything was perfect. So before leaving, I put a generous tip on the table.
Right.
Well, my waiter stopped me before I got out the door to return my forgotten money. When I'm at...
What? the waiter returned the money? For one thing, if you accidentally leave your money anywhere in America, nobody is returning it. Like, that money is going to be taken. You do not leave your money out. If you're leaving it for a tip, in America, that would just be normal. In Japan, they actually give it back. Wow. Wow, even if you want to... In America, it's considered a compliment. It's saying that they did a good job, and you want to reward them, pay them. In Japan, I guess it's just not... Is it considered rude? Is it like... It's just totally different.
At home in the U.S., I'm not the only one having my lunch on the run, hopping on the bus with a Coke in one hand and a hot dog in the other. In most places in Japan, though, eating and drinking on the street or in public transport is frowned upon.
What? Oh my God. Japan is very interesting because Japan has a lot of stuff that I love and I think is really interesting. But there's some things that I'm not sure if I agree with. Why can't you eat your lunch on the go when you're on the train or the bus? Why not? It saves time. Not everyone has time to eat. As long as you're not bothering anyone, I don't know if I see the problem.
Unless it's a Shinkansen or similar long-distance train. You just don't take a sandwich or coffee for a walk to the nearest park.
Not even a coffee? You can't even drink your coffee while walking? Really?
It's much more common to have a meal in the same place where you bought your food. And
Okay.
if it's street food, eat it while standing still or find somewhere to sit down.
Wow.
But this rule could already be outdated. I've seen quite a lot of locals scarfing snacks while hurrying somewhere.
Oh. Ho, ho, ho. Is this changing? Is this like an older tradition? Do you think this is changing? Let me know if you're Japanese. Can you eat while walking? Is that okay? I can't tell now.
If you ask a Japanese person for directions, they won't point. It's considered threatening and therefore impolite.
What?
Instead, they'll either provide you with verbal directions or show where you should go with an open hand.
Wow. This is really specific. I like this. These are the kinds of things I would never know about Japanese culture unless I watch a video like this. So in Japan, you don't point. You don't point like, yeah, the park is over there. That way. That's normal in America. It's not considered rude or threatening. I don't know how did this even become a bad gesture in Japan? I don't know. Okay, it's good to know. I would be pointing everywhere, and I wouldn't have known I was being rude.
Now, about greeting people. I'm sure you know that shaking hands is nothing but bad manners in Japan.
Oh, you don't shake hands. Wow. That is pretty standard in America. During COVID, during the pandemic, we stopped shaking hands for a while, but it's back. You shake hands as a greeting. It's pretty normal here. So not in Japan. In Japan, do you bow? Is it always bowing, I think?
Well, if you're a foreigner, no one will scold you. Japanese people are used to shaking hands with Westerners.
Oh, that's good. Thank you. You understand if Americans do things wrong, if we don't know the customs. Okay, thank you.
But if you want to blend in, you should bow when meeting people, thanking someone, or apologizing.
Okay.
If you're served nigiri sushi, which is a slice of raw fish placed on pressed rice,
Ooh.
dip it in the sauce upside down. This way, only the fish will touch the sauce, and the rice won't get wet and sloppy. If you find it tricky to do with your chopsticks, remember that using your hands is also an option.
Oh, okay, good, because we do not have chopsticks in America. We are terrible at using chopsticks. I didn't know you have to dip your sushi a certain way. This there's just so many little rules about Japan that as Americans, like I have no idea about any of this.
One more table etiquette rule to keep in mind next time you're in Japan enjoying that delicious local cuisine. When eating soup, first lift the bowl closer to your mouth and use your chopsticks to fish out all the solid stuff. Then drink the broth directly from your bowl.
Oh.
When in Japan, you need to show...
It's interesting because there seems to be a lot of customs around how you eat in Japan. You don't eat while walking. You dip your sushi a certain way. You drink your soup a certain way, your ramen. There's a lot of little details. In America, I don't know. Maybe I just can't tell because I'm American and I'm used to the way we are. But you can pretty much eat however you want. Some foods you eat with your hand, some foods you don't. You know, we use forks and knives. It's just kind of whatever.
Show proper respect to people's business cards. I mean, you should do that no matter where you are. But it's a particularly careful exchange in Japan.
Business cards? Business cards are like really important in Japan. We have business cards. They're just not that special in America, I guess.
So if someone offers you their business card, which is called a mishi, take it with both hands and examine it attentively.
Wow.
If you're in a meeting at this moment, put the card on the table in front of you. The rudest thing you can do is shove another person's business card in your pocket.
Oh, wow. See, I'm starting to understand. There's a lot of things in Japan that are different from America because Japan has a lot more respect. You care a lot more about being respectful, handling your food certain ways, handling your business card certain ways. Whereas in America, we just don't care as much. Now, which way do I prefer? I don't know. In America, I like that we don't really have to worry so much about how we affect others, but at the same time, I really love how Japanese people have a lot of respect for each other and how well you treat each other. So maybe like somewhere in the middle of Japan and America is maybe the best.
You have to carefully put it inside a case or wallet.
Oh.
Most taxis have doors that open automatically. So when a car pulls up, don't rush to open the door.
Oh.
The driver will do it by pressing a button.
Oh.
Operating the door by yourself makes most drivers a bit upset.
Oh, that's cool. I've never known about that. Automatic doors.
Well, it turns out that while Japan was never a dominion of Her Majesty, British companies were responsible for building Japan's first railways in the 1870s.
Really?
They brought their lane preference with them. As trains gave way to electric trolleys and eventually cars, their tradition stuck. And by 1924, left-side driving was codified into law across the nation.
You drive on the left-hand side of the road? You drive on the left side of the road. I did not know that. Oh, wow. Oh, I would be scared to drive in Japan. I have always driven on the right side of the road. I don't think I could make the switch. I'm afraid if I was driving on the left side of the road, I would just freak out and suddenly, like, it would just feel wrong. Wow, I didn't know that.
So, show of hands, who likes chocolate?
Oh, yeah,
Now,
yeah.
I can't actually see you, so I'm just going to assume everyone put their hands up.
Yeah.
Ever since the Mayans figured out how to grind it into an edible paste, the world has been cuckoo for cocoa, and Japan is no exception.
Okay.
Or maybe it is, judging by some of the interesting flavors on display.
Do you like chocolate in Japan? Americans love chocolate. We love it. I'm wondering if the chocolate is different in Japan?
Take, for example, the humble Kit Kat. A staple of American vending machines and convenience store counters, these chocolate-covered wafer cookies are even more popular in Japan than in the West for two reasons.
Really?
The first is that, by astounding coincidence, Kit Kat sounds almost exactly like the common Japanese phrase kidokatsu.
Kidokatsu. Kit Kat. You Japanese love Kit Kats? that's very random to me. Kit Kats are like kind of popular in America. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I forget about them.
Translates to, you will surely win, and is the cultural equivalent of an English speaker saying, good luck.
Okay.
Nestle was quick to seize on the luckiest bit of free advertising in history, leading the Kit Kat to become the most popular chocolate bar in Japan.
What? The Kit Kat, kitokatsu, is the most popular candy bar in Japan? Really? I did not know that. Kit Kats are not that popular in America. It's just kind of, I don't know, they're okay.
The other main factor in Kit Kat's success is the sheer variety of region-exclusive flavors available to Japanese candy connoisseurs.
Okay.
These range from traditionally chocolate-associated flavors, such as strawberries and banana, to flavors like corn, wasabi, and green tea.
What? What? You have wasabi Kit Kats? Green tea flavored Kit Kats candy? Oh my god, does that taste good? I don't know. That sounds terrible.
Japan has a culture that's always fascinated the rest of the world. We've all heard about this country's unique mix of tradition and futurism.
Right.
But I was surprised to find out that sumo is not the most popular sport there, and it takes mad skill to prepare a river pig. Oh yeah, and
Yeah, how popular is sumo wrestling? Because sumo wrestling is kind of like, it's a sport that we associate with Japan. I think Japan likes baseball too, right? With Shohei Ohtani as well becoming really famous.
bathing is done a little differently than you might be used to. In Japanese culture, the main
Wait. Bathing? Wait, what? Bathing?
add skill to prepare a river pig. Oh yeah, and bathing is done a little differently than you might be used to. In Japanese culture, the main cleaning routine is done at night in several steps. Follow closely, please. First,
Okay.
run a hot bath and hop in the shower. You just need to lightly wash any sweat or dust off your body. Make sure you're totally rinsed, and next, have a soak in that bath.
What? Is this true? Is this normal in Japan? I've never heard of this. You go into the shower, then you go into the bath? In America, I'll go in the shower for like 10 or 15 minutes and just clean for just in the shower. Not many Americans take baths. In Japan, you kind of do both?
Just long enough to open your pores. You might add some Epsom salt and some other skin-nourishing ingredients. Kind of like brining a turkey for Thanksgiving. And anyone with long hair, make sure it doesn't touch the bath water. Pull it up in a high bun if you need to. Then climb out of the bath and let any ingredients you added soak into the water.
Okay.
Time to head back to the shower for another rinse.
What? What? Is this true? Can any Japanese people clarify this? Do you really do all of this? Is this actually true? You go in the shower, then the bath, then the shower.
This second rinse isn't always done, but it'll remove any more stubborn grime. Since the room is probably steamy by now, your body temperature will be up, and this will open the pores even more. It also gets the metabolism going. Now you're ready to double dip and have a long, luxurious soak in that bath. Make sure the water is still hot.
What? Back into the bath? Okay, there's no way all Japanese people do this every day. There's no way.
Well, I guess you don't have to worry about that if you're using a Japanese tub. They have a built-in heater so that the water stays hot.
Wow. Okay.
In Japan.
Okay. This is actually a really long video. This has been really enjoyable. I have learned some things about Japan I have never heard before. Wow. I'm going to stop here for now and finish this video in part 2 in the next video. So if you've enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of these Japanese customs or anything that I didn't understand. That'd be great to hear about. And if you're interested in part 2 or more videos like this, me reacting to Japan and learning about Japanese culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.